What is going on, internet world? My name is Tommy. You probably know me as Rivet, and I am your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying, flyest looking team on YouTube. And we are back in the MMDL with our Week 4 matchup against Coach NightOwl, the commissioner of the league, and his team, the Los Angeles Rowlets. This is going to be an awesome game. Welcome to the workshop. Alrighty guys, we are here breaking down our matchup for our Week 4 matchup against NightOwl and the Los Angeles Rowlets. He's got a really scary team, but I think we have the team to take him on. First off, his first Pokemon, Zeraora, is an amazing Pokemon. Blistering fast at 143 base speed and does a lot of things well. It's a great pivot, obviously, with that speed and Volt Switch. It's a great physical Pokemon and special Pokemon. It hits really hard from both sides with moves like Plasma Fists, Close Combat, Knock Off, Play Rough, Blaze Kick, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, as I said, Aura Sphere. It's got a great move pool. It can set up on the physical side with Bulk Up and the special side with Calm Mind. It just does so many things, and just a pure normal electric type that's incredibly fast is always incredibly tough to deal with. It's definitely one of the best mons in the format, and I am really scared of it. I don't have a whole lot to take it on, but hopefully I can manage it properly and not lose to it. He's got Skarmory. Skarmory is an incredibly defensive Steel and Flying type with great hazards capabilities with Stealth Rock, Spikes, and Defog. It's got Roost for longevity, Iron Heads, Body Presses, and Brave Birds all hit really hard, and then obviously that base 140 defense stat means it's taking physical hits for days. His next Pokemon, he's got Slowking-Galar. This thing is an absolute beast. It is a specially defensive monster. It runs Assault Vest incredibly easily, building off its base 110 special defense and 95 HP. With Regenerator, it just lives forever, essentially. It has an amazing typing in Psychic and Poison, and a great move pool with Future Sights, Poison, Sludge Bombs, Psychic, Ice Beam, Scald, Flamethrower. It just gets so many great moves, and it's an absolute monster. If he wants to be cheeky with it, he can run a setup set. It does get Calm Mind, Iron Defense, and it can get Stored Power. Slack Off, obviously, for less passive recovery. But it's an absolute beast. I definitely think it comes just because it's his best way to deal with Primarina. So I'm really scared of Slowking. I've used it pretty well, and I know exactly what it's capable of, and it's incredibly scary. Next up, he's got Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl is a great Pokemon, a Dark Fairy type with the Prankster ability. It hits really hard with base 120, base attack stat, and a great stab combination in Spirit Breaker, Play Rough, and Darkest Lariat. It gets some other coverage moves, and then obviously Prankster being a great ability to spread some status around or set up screens. If he does bring a status variant, I think it would definitely be a screens variant, because obviously he doesn't want to start statusing into the Magic Bounce of my Mega Cresselia. However, Darkest Lariats are pretty free against me, as I'm not going to want to take those. Next up, he's got Vaporeon. Vaporeon obviously is an obnoxious water type. Huge HP stat with 130 that can be used to pass some huge wishes. It also gets Heal Bell to act as a Cleric, Scald, Flip Turn, Ice Beam. The sets it runs are pretty standard, but it is obviously incredibly bulky. I definitely expect Vaporeon to come. It is his best and only way to deal with Mega Cresselia setting up in his face, able to haze away those stat buffs, and I can't really do anything about it. I think I have a pretty cool way to deal with Vaporeon this week. Will it work? I have no idea, but I'm just having some fun with this league and trying to be as cheesy as I can. He's got Donphan. Donphan's a great bulky ground type, sets Stealth Rock and spins them away. With base 120 attack stat, it hits really hard. Earthquake, Knock Off, Gunk Shot, Ice Shard, Play Rough, Seed Bomb. It gets a bunch of great moves. I don't know if Donphan comes. It's one of his best ways to handle Mega Lycanroc. Just being able to... It doesn't take close combat super well, but it takes him a little bit better than Skarmory, and is able to resist those Stone Edges and Excel Rocks. So if it does come, I would bet it's a check to Mega Lycanroc. However, as you'll see, I'm not bringing Mega Lycanroc, so maybe he predicts that. Next up, the first of his two Mega Pokemon is Mega Mismagius. He's got Pidgeotite on this thing, which makes it an absolute monster, giving it base 170 special attack and base 125 speed with the No Guard ability. He's able to boost up with Nasty Plot further, which is just absurd. Shadow Balls, Inferno with No Guard is really good, being able to burn stuff. Thunderbolt, Power Gem, it gets a couple other moves. Mismagius is a huge threat. I don't have a whole lot that switches into it, although I think his other Mega slot is more suitable for this match. If it does come, I have to be incredibly careful that it doesn't just body me. He's got Appleton. Appleton's a pretty cool grass and dragon type. It sets some Leech Seeds. It can Draco, and its signature ability, Apple Acid, is pretty cool. I don't think Appleton comes in this match, but if it does, I think I have a pretty decent idea of what it will do. Pyroar. Pyro is a kind of a signature mod for NightOwl in my eyes, and he uses it very well. It's a very offensive fire and normal type with a great dual stab combination in Fire Blast and Hyper Voice, although it doesn't get a lot of coverage, and for this reason I don't think it comes, just because Heatran pretty much hard walls it. It can't touch it at all, thanks to Flash Fire and being a steel type resisting those Hyper Voices, as it doesn't get anything like Scorching Sands or anything. Maybe he could be weird with like a physical variant with Moxie or something like that, but I definitely don't think Pyro comes just because Heatran is so free against it. His second Mega Pokemon is Mega Pinsir. Not the flying variant we all know, but he's got Lopunite on this thing, which makes it an absolute monster. Base 185 attack stat, giving it the fighting typing and Scrappy, boosting its speed up to 115. This is the Mega I fully expect to come. I have literally nothing that deals with this thing. X-Scissor, Close Combat, Earthquake, and Stone Edge or Rock Slide completely destroys everything on my team. He just has to predict properly, and I just kind of lose to it. And it's an absolute monster. It comes in so that Cresselia can't set up super free. I have to click a move on it. And if he thinks I'm kind of passive like last time, then maybe he thinks he can click X-Scissor in front of me. I don't know. But this thing is a monster. I got to manage it really, really well so as to not let it beat me. And finally, he's got Jinx. Jinx is a pretty fast offensive Psychic and Ice type with the Dry Skin ability giving it an immunity to Water type moves. It can Nasty Plot up, get some cool moves like Saw Shock, Freeze Dry, maybe a couple others. He can Lovely Kiss. I definitely don't expect Jinx in this matchup. I think he's got a bunch of other better things to bring in those slots instead. So with that all the way, let's hop into this. First pick, we're bringing Spinal Tap the Rillaboom. Spinal Tap's looking great this match. Rocking a Protective Pad set with Grassy Surge, Grassy Glide, Knockoff, U-Turn, and Taunt. Protective Pads are there for a Rocky Helmet Skarmory, which I fully expect to come. Skarmory hard shuts this thing down, but I really need Rillaboom this match because I needed to bust holes in Vaporeon. Vaporeon is a huge wall in my way this week, and especially in front of my Cresselia, as you'll see. So I need this thing to just be around to dissuade that Vaporeon, and Grassy Glide does a ton, especially if he's a specially defensive set, which I expect him to be. Grassy Glide hits that really hard and is great for late game against stuff like Miss Magius if he has it. Knockoff is great for just general utility, knocking off that helmet early on Skarmory. It also hits Slowking very hard, removing a potential Assault Vest, which makes the lives of everything else easier. U-Turn is there for momentum. I can U-Turn pretty freely on that Skarmory thanks to my Protective Pads, not taking any damage, and then getting into something else. And then I have Taunt on here. Taunt is there for the Skarmory coming in so that he can't roost up if he's low, or set Stealth Rock spikes, or remove hazards with Defog. So I really like the Taunt option. I considered running Leech Seed instead of Taunt, but I think that Skarmory can pivot out pretty easy, and it won't be super useful, but taunting it to just stop hazards from getting up is huge, because my removal isn't stellar. Running Max Attack Adamant with pretty much everything in bulk, because I don't really need the speed, and I like the extra bulk to try to switch into stuff like Scalds maybe from Vaporeon, and hope I don't get burned. This also is a pretty decent switch into Donphan if he brings it, barring Gunk Shot. Next up, bringing the Heat, we got Jandija, the Heatran. He's looking great. Rocking a mixed defensive set this week with Lava Plume, Stealth Rock, Taunt, and Toxic. Lava Plume hits Skarmory really hard, and also hits Mega Pinsir on switch in if he's feeling risky. Stealth Rocks are just great for hazards. Taunt again is there for Skarmory, and maybe Vaporeon if I'm feeling bold. And then Toxic is also there for Vaporeon. I expect him to have Heal Bell on that thing, but if I can Toxic Vaporeon coming in and predict a Heal Bell instead of a Scald, I can taunt that, get some extra chip on it, force him to Scald and get into something else like Rillaboom, and then safely U-turn out into the incoming Skarmory. I really like that option. I've got pretty much mixed defenses here. The special defense investment was to take something. It was to take something. There's a reason for this. I don't really remember, honestly. But he's looking great nonetheless. I hope he does some good work for me. Next up, coming again, Ray Charles the Crocodile. Ray Charles is looking awesome this week, rocking a Choice Scarf set with Moxie this time. High horsepower, knockoff, close combat, and aerial ace. Max attack adamant with enough speed for Zeraora, non-Scarf Zeraora. High horsepower looks great this match. Knockoff is amazing. Close combat just hits Skarmory as hard as I can. And then aerial ace is obviously there for that Mega Pinsir. Mega Pinsir can come in pretty freely on this thing. Horsepower and knockoff aren't going to do a whole lot. So I'm hoping I can catch it with an aerial ace. I don't know if he'll expect the aerial ace. I think he knows that Mega Pinsir destroys my team, so he'll want to play that thing safe. But maybe if he gets a little too confident, aerial ace can catch that thing and like send it for a big loop. It is pretty naturally bulky with base 110 in defense, but aerial ace will still chunk that thing, especially maybe if I'm like +1 for some reason with Moxie. I mean, that really wouldn't happen. But still, Raze looking great. It deals with Slowking well. It deals with Zeraora well. It can chunk Grimmsnarl and Vaporeon for a bit if they're weakened. And then Appleton is one of his really only ways to handle this thing, besides Skarmory, obviously. And I don't think that comes, which is really good. Next up, my win con for this match probably. We got Celine the Cresselia. She's coming back. This is kind of funky. I'm really hoping this works. If it doesn't, I'm going to look stupid. But this is one of my ways to get around Vaporeon in this match. I'm running a fully specially offensive set with enough speed to revenge Mega Pinsir when it's Mega Evolved and the rest thrown into bulk. Psyshock, Moonblast, Energy Ball, Calm Mind. Like I said, I definitely expect Vaporeon to come with a specially defensive set, able to haze away any Calm Minds that I set up. And I think that thing has the longevity to stay around for the entire game thanks to the combination of that thing and Skarmory. So I'm running an offensive set. I'm hoping maybe I can catch him with like some physical bulk in there, and I can Calm Mind up, Energy Ball. If he doesn't have any special investment, a +1 Energy Ball into a neutral Energy Ball will kill that thing, which would be fantastic. Although once I show that, he'll probably switch out into something else. But otherwise, this thing does a good bit to pretty much his entire team, barring Skarmory. And Skarmory can't do a whole lot to me, except for maybe like Brave Bird. And at +4 or something like that, Moonblast or Psyshock will do a lot to it. So I'm really hoping this works. Again, if it doesn't work, I'm going to look stupid. But I'm having fun. And I got kind of a rough matchup, I think. So that's all I'm going for this match. Next up, making her debut, we got Aurora the Komala. Rocking an Assault Vest set, fully specially defensive knockoff, U-turn, Sucker Punch, and Rapid Spin. This is my switch into Mega Mismagius. Obviously, that thing hits so hard with Shadow Balls and everything. So I needed a bulky normal type. Comatose is awesome for this match because obviously I can't get burned from Inferno or paralyzed from anything like that. Knockoff hits that thing pretty hard. Sucker Punch can hit it if he doesn't nasty plot up, although I really don't want to give him that chance. U-turn is great for pivoting, and then Rapid Spin if I'm not in against that Mismagius. If he sets up hazards with something like Skarmory or Donphan, I can get rid of those. Fully specially defensive, but even with no investment essentially in attack, this thing still does a lot to Mismagius because it is pretty frail. And then last but not least, Flavia coming back, Flavia the Emolga. And she's looking great with a heavy-duty boot set, Discharge, Knockoff, U-turn, and Roost. This is my main switch into Zeraora. Discharge obviously can't touch it because it has the Volt Absorb ability, but I can knock off its boots or its Expert Belt or Life Orb or anything, or I can U-turn out. Roost is just there for longevity, and Motor Drive obviously gives me the immunity to Volt Switch or Plasma Fists. Close Combat's not doing a lot. Knockoff doesn't do a whole lot. Even with its minimal bulk, I am fully invested, so it doesn't do a ton, especially after I lose my boots. And then none of its coverage really does a whole lot. Play Rough and Blaze Kick can do a decent chunk, but it's not going to do too much where I can't U-turn out afterwards and pressure with something like Spinal Tap or Ray. So that's the team we're rocking with. This is going to be a tough match, but I'm looking to have fun. So with all that, let's get into it. All right, guys, we're about to hop into this battle against NightOwl and his team, the Los Angeles Rowlets. You can see the 6 I expect him to bring up on the screen. Zeraora, Skarmory, Slowking, Grimmsnarl, Vaporeon, and that Mega Pinsir. Some other things are definitely on the table. I could definitely see Mega Mismagius over Mega Pinsir, maybe. And also Donphan. So you've seen the 6 I'm bringing. If you haven't, go check out the Teambuilder. And let's hop into this. Okay. Yep, I nailed it. Pretty obvious, but this will be tough. This is definitely going to be a tough match. Why is this not working? Good luck. Have fun. Again. Okay, so last time I said that when I nailed prep, I said it made me confident, and I ended up losing because I'm a fool. So I'm not going to say anything stupid like that. I'm going to play as confidently as carefully as I would. Otherwise, I could definitely see a Grimmsnarl lead to try to set up screens, or a Skarmory lead to set up hazards, or a Zeraora lead just because it's great. I could definitely also see him leading Mega Pinsir just to generally apply some pressure. So I'm going to lead Flavia here. I can U-turn out fairly freely on anything, and it matches up well against the Skarmory or Zeraora lead. If he leads Pinsir, I can pressure maybe if I'm like Scarfed or something with Air Slash, because that would do a lot. And I can gauge what he wants to do. So I am going to lead Flavia here. Alright, Molga's going to come out. Leads Vaporeon. Great. I'm just simply going to U-turn out here. He can stay in and throw up a Wish, or he can flip turn out. But I think my play is to U-turn. He's going to stay in. I'm just going to go straight into Spinal. He's probably just going to flip turn out here or throw up Wish. He's going to Toxic. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to safely U-turn out. I pressure this thing pretty hard. He probably just goes into Skarmory here, and that'll let me get into Heatran fairly safely. Yep. In this situation, I can Lava Plume. He probably goes back into that Vaporeon. So I kind of like just setting up my rocks here. His removal, if he has it, is on this Skarmory. I could also set up... I could also just toss off a Lava Plume. Try to burn that Vaporeon. But I think I am just going to set up my rocks here, I think. Slowking comes out. I'm okay with that. He probably tosses off a Future Sight here, or he goes for Scald. I'm going to go hard into Aurora. I can eat anything. I won't get burned from a Scald burn, and I can knock off fairly safely, most likely into that Grimmsnarl or Pinsir, or I can just U-turn again. He might go into Skarmory. Also, respect. Got the Atla naming theme going on here. Although, frankly, buddy, Sludge Bomb, that's okay. That does literally nothing to me. Get a nice little regeneration there. I like knocking off here. He can go into that Pinsir pretty safely, and that'll put on a ton of pressure. But I don't know if he'll do that. He might just go into Skarm. I'm going to click Knockoff. He does go into Skarm here. I'm cool with that. If this thing is Helmet, I'm going to get rid of it. It was Helmet. So now my pads are essentially useless, but I'm kind of okay with that. And I'm just going to U-turn out here. He's going to set up spikes. I'm fine with that. I'm going to go back into Heatran. Or I can go into Flavia here. If I go Flavia, he probably just goes into Iroh. He'll think I have Defog if I do that. So I'm just going to go into Jean here. I'm going to get on the offensive. He probably going to go into that Vaporeon here. Because last time he predicted the Toxic going into that guy. So I'm just going to Lava Plume. He can make that same play. He's going to go into Katara now. That's fine. I'm going to taunt this thing. If he scalds me, that's fine. He's going to go into Skarm. That's cool. And I'm just going to Lava Plume again. He's going to go into Slowking this time. Poink, 17. That's I got a little burn. That doesn't really matter. But that is definitely Assault Vest. Because even uninvested, Heatran's still pretty strong. Yeah, he's definitely Assault Vest. I mean, what other set does Slowking run? LOL. I'm going to go back into Aurora and try to Rapid Spin. Future Sight. Not surprised by that. He'll probably just Sludge Bomb. He's going to expect me to Rapid Spin, I think. Or maybe he'll... I definitely want to Rapid Spin, but I don't want to take a big hit. But I don't really need this thing, obviously, because Skarmory at this point is weakened. It's going to continue taking rocks, and he doesn't have Mega Mismagius, so I don't really need it as much. So I'm okay Rapid Spinning here. He can go back out into Skarm and apply some pressure, but then I can just U-turn on the Roost and get back into Heatran and apply some pressure. That Vaporeon is obviously such an issue, but he's going to go back into Vaporeon. I'm okay with that. Rapid Spin those rocks away. And now I'm frankly going to knock off his leftovers. He can Scald me. That won't do anything. He can throw up a Wish. I'm fine with that. There's the Wish. Take the Future Sight. Doesn't do a whole lot. And now I'm just going to U-turn out. He can Protect here. Or go back into that Skarmory. He does go back into Skarmory. That's fine. I'm just going to U-turn. Go back into Jean. And at this point, he's full, but Katara is low. So I'm going to Lava Plume safely. He probably just goes back into that Slowking. But it's going to take rocks again. It's going to take burn and another Lava Plume. So I want to start playing aggressively. He's shown Sludge Bomb, Future Sight. He definitely has Scald. I'm gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna go into Crook here. There's the Future Sight. And I'm gonna go for a nice little knockoff here. He's definitely I could go oh man, if I went for Aerial Ace right now, I'd be a god. He's definitely just gonna go into Skarm because that thing is at full. So I want to make the double back out into Jean and keep myself in the front foot. That's all I'm gonna do. Skarm, yep. And Jean can take the Future Sight for days. I'm just going to safely Lava Plume again. He's going to go back into that thing, but then we're going to be in the same situation. I want to force him to make a play. G-King comes back out. Gonna take rocks, Lava Plume, and burn. Take the Future Sight, does literally nothing. And this time after, since I went into Crook, he might think I'm going to... He might Scald this time. Man, I hate G-King. It is so good. Could go back into Aurora, but that just brings Sokka back in. I'm going to go into Aurora this time. EQ. He did have EQ. Okay, that whole time. Wow, that's bad. I'm just going to U-turn. Into Boomy. Okay. He has to Mega turn 1. So... What do I want to do here? I think I want to go into Celine, get my Mega off. Because if he wants to stay in, he has to Mega turn 1. And I can Moonblast fairly safely. Because I have a lot of speed on this guy. I definitely have speed for this thing. Because this is the... this is my big boy pants play. Lopunite, yeah, 361. I'm 363 after Mega Evolution. I'm just going to Moonblast and see what he wants to do. He's going to go into Zer. Let's see how much this does. Bonk. 38. Not a lot. I get a special attack drop. Doesn't really matter. At this point, what do you want to do to me? I'm going to go into Flavia, I guess. See what you have. He's going to Calm Mind. Oh, that's not good. I'm going to U-turn. He's sub. That's really not good. I guess I'll go into Aurora and U-turn again. Now he can definitely kill me at this point, but I don't want to make a Ray take a big hit. Because this thing has Aura Sphere. He's sub Calm Mind, Aura Sphere. Wow, that absolutely destroys me, actually. Crap, that's not good. Alright, well, I gotta... Man, good prep from NightOwl. I definitely expected a different set, but that's definitely a great bring. Kamala's U-turn will break sub. If he kills me, that's okay. I did get that special attack lower, which is unfortunate for him, but I should be able to live in Aura Sphere from this range just because I am max AV. He's going to Calm Mind again. Alright, I broke sub, and at this point, Crook can come in and click CC. Or I can go into Jean. I mean, it's Spinal. And just glide into U-turn. That's also a good play. Because Crook totally reveals that I'm Choice Scarfed, which is totally obvious. And Sokka. Skarmory. Yeah, Skarmory takes literally nothing from CC. I'm just going to go into Spinal and glide. Because you can't sub up in front of me, obviously. I am giving this thing some good HP back, but I'm okay with it. I'm just going to glide. You can definitely just go back into Skarm, but Crisis has been momentarily averted, I think. He knows I'm pads because I didn't take Rocky Helmet damage when I went into Skarmory. But this is still going to whack because Zeraora, while fantastic, is not exactly physically bulky. So this totally kills, unless he's got a crap ton of investment that I don't think he would. He needs the speed. He's going to go on Vaporeon. Well, in all of my preparation, I definitely didn't expect Vaporeon was going to be the one to die first. Otherwise, I absolutely would have brought like the regular Cresselia set. So I guess I'm going to U-turn here. He's going to set up screens and try to get back into something. Yeah, I'll just U-turn. Oh, he's bulk up. That's scary. Alright, well, let's do some calcs. See, I did 19 when he was at +1. So, U-turn. Oh, he's got some good bulk in there. That could have been a min roll, or he's definitely got some investment. But I think that means Crest can come in Moonblast. doesn't kill, especially not after recovery from terrain and possibly leftovers. So I'm going to go into Jean here, and I'm going to click... He could be bulk up rest. Like rest talk. Which would be incredibly scary. So I got to see how much Crook is going to do to this thing before... It's not going to do anything. If he's that invested. Cress? Yeah, Cress won't be able to kill. I need more chip on this thing. I'm going to go Heatran, I guess. I have some decent... yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he is leftovers. He can... Does this thing get close combat? Okay, it gets Body Press. Gets Drain Punch. He could definitely have Drain Punch, which would send me for a loop. But I'm just going to Toxic this thing. He's going to bulk up again. Alright, if he's Rest Talk, I'm in trouble. So I'm going to Lava Plume. The way he's doing this, he's definitely Rest Talk. Which is bad. So I'm going to Taunt, because if he rests now, that's cool, and then he can't Sleep Talk afterwards. But he's really going for it. I don't know what your plan is. Now he doesn't have any more recovery, and now Crest definitely kills. So I'm going to Lava Plume. He's got Drain Punch. He's got Lariat. I lived it. That's cool. And you should die. Nope. Very close. But Lava Plume kills this time. He'll die to Rocks coming back in. So another crisis averted. Little bit greedy with the bulk ups, but thank God I had Taunt on there. He definitely was Rest Talk, Darkest Lariat. Bulk up. Alright, well, I'm a lucky duckling once again. Alright, this guy comes in. Realistically, this thing does nothing else. I mean, no, actually, no, it deals with Sokka over here. So I'm just going to go into Flavia here. If he wants to, he can kill me. I don't really care. Once I get back into Cress, I can revenge this thing. EQ. Cool with that. Just going to discharge. No, I'm going to U-turn. There's the Stone Edge. Rip. Oh, poor Flavia. She didn't deserve to go out like that, but... now I'm just going to Side Shock. Boink. Alright. Yay! Especially offensive Cress. No setup thump. I mean, I do have Calm Mind, but I'm on the board. Side Shock. Discharge. Doesn't do anything. Boink. Let's go, Mega Cress. Some good speed. Realistically, I'm just going to Calm Mind now. What are you going to do to me? Body Press? Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I got to check how much I'm actually doing to this thing. +1. Skarmory, let's see if he's defensive. Yeah, I'm not really doing anything. I'll get up to 1 more. And I'm just going to start Moon Blasting now. Whirlwind, yeah, it doesn't work. Bye-bye. Hello again, Iroh. Psyshock, goodbye. I remain adamant, Internet World, that Psyshock is a busted move. Alright, well, Celine, putting in some great work. GG's to NightOwl. Thank you for putting up with my Mega Crest shenanigans. I know it's no fun to prep for nor play against, but I had a good time, and that's what I call a riveting win. Celine putting in some great work again. And with that, have a good night. Take care. I will see you next time. Peace.